Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk. It's indeed another opportunity for us to come to you with another exciting topic. I'm so glad and appreciative of your continuous support by always watching Let's Talk on DNTWOK. And today we have a special topic for you. It's about dressing, and I know that it's something we've always been talking about. It's everywhere, but there is need to actually pay more attention to it. That's why I want to discuss this topic, which is decoding dress codes, a guide to dressing appropriately for any occasion. And I have with me someone who have always been here, and that is the person of Mrs. Modupe Olatunde. She is a coach and a counselor. Thank you so much, Ma, for always coming on the show. And before we go, I would like to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Until then, please enjoy the show with us. Okay, so thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show. It's nice having you once again. Thank you for your constant support, actually. I appreciate it. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thanks for having me always. I am humbled.
Okay, so now we're talking about decoding dress codes and all of that. I want to ask, for someone who might not understand what we're trying to talk about today, would you be kind enough to explain what this topic is all about and what people should expect?
Yeah. Recently, especially, I am sorry I have to call that with the so-called Ashrebi dressing. I don't know if to use is becoming or has become a show of shame. I'm sorry I'm using that word. In so many cases, you see some ladies and you're like, oh God, what is she putting on? Even in our teenagers' world, it's really unspeakable. There are different dresses for different occasions. I don't know why I have to start on that note. I want to say, if you have to dress, you should consider convenience, comfortability, neatness, affordability, and moderation, modesty. You should be modest. When we were growing up, I use that often because the Gen Z seems to have changed a lot of things. Yes, Gen Z. A lot of things has changed. But there are some parts of your body that has to be covered. That is the purpose of putting on a dress in the first instance. Irrespective of the part of the country you are from. Yes. So people will tell me you're in Nigeria, we are outside Nigeria when the weather is hot and all that. But dressing should comfortability, convenience, neatness, affordability should be considered in your way of dressing. All this, having said this, all this being put together gives this pride at the end of the day, gives this charisma, even for yourself. You can see the way I'm carrying myself saying it.
It's beautiful.
Yes, thank you. If what I'm putting on is showing some cleavages, I wouldn't be convenient speaking because obviously I know people's focus will be here. But now I am comfortable. So whenever we have to dress, whenever we have to put on anything, we should consider the occasion. All this we're still going to talk about, but just giving an intro into it, let me stop on that note.
Now, so what are the common dress code mistakes people make and how can they be avoided?
I just want to talk about two majorly. Two. The first one is ill-fitting clothes. When you're dressed, yes. When you're dressed and it comes too big on you. It depends on what you have to do with the dressing. It depends on what your function is with your dressing. You look bloated up, and you don't. When it comes to dressing, you must look good. When you look good, you will be comfortable. When you look good, there's this. I said it earlier. There's this charisma with it. So you shouldn't put on something that is too bloated. You shouldn't put on something that will make you feel less of yourself. You shouldn't put on something that will drag your self-esteem. Whatever it is you're putting on should balance you up for any occasion. The next one will be when it's too tight. I'm talking about just that too, for that subtitle. When you're putting on something that is too tight, you become very uncomfortable. You become uneasy with yourself. Some people put on dresses and they can't even breathe. You see them struggling to breathe. Everywhere is tight and the cleavages are it's almost
poking.
Whatever it is you're putting on, I talked about it, convenience should be considered. Thank you.
Now, can you explain the difference between formal, semi-formal kind of dressings, especially for a business too? Let's add business too, the kind of dressing.
Formal clothing, according to what I have here, isn't the too classy kind of dressing. The formal is not too classy. I had like that. As casual such as wedding, dinner dance. You can imagine someone putting a jeans and a t-shirt to a wedding. How does it sound?
Well, maybe culturally it might not sound good, but Western world might just be. So I think we should try to look at balance
it. Okay.
In the Western world, anything goes.
But even in the Western world, does it sound really nice to go to a wedding party in a jeans and a t-shirt?
Because nobody cares. Nobody cares. I think from where we come from, we're so conscious of how people see us. In this part of the world, they made life is easier because nobody is looking at you. So, but because we came from a place whereby dressing is very important to us, where we know that if you're going to a wedding ceremony, a funeral, any big party, you want to go, represent yourself so well. And someone right here might just go, well, let me just go with a shirt and trouser or even a suit. But
amazingly,
the agbada, the babarika, and the shoe, all of that.
Amazingly, do you know Nigerians in diaspora are doing great? You can see us even in our Ashwebi in US, in UK, in Canada, wherever. You can see us even in our Ashwebi with our Ashoke for wedding, birthday party.
Events like that. We won't.
Okay. That's formal. I'm not talking about semi-formal.
For a beautiful, nice dress, that will still fit into. As Africans, we won't go to such an event like that. You want them to follow you.
In a jeans and a t-shirt, we won't.
No, yeah, we won't.
So talking about semi-formal, I wrote here, more dressed up than you, less fancy than going for a game. It is more dressed up than you'd wear to work and less fancy than going to a gala night. Semi-formal. It could be a black dress. It could be a black suit. It could be a black gown. It depends on the occasion. Sometimes there is a dress code. It depends. For semi-formal, sometimes there could be a dress code. And I have here for business casual dress code. It depends on the profession. You will never see a nurse, a medical doctor in any kind of wear. It depends. You will not see a tech guy in a flowing gown. I mean, a tech person. It could be a guy, it could be a lady. It depends. You would entertainment. When you see people in the entertainment world, the kind of dress code they have is completely different. It depends. You would see people, a farmer. You would not expect a farmer on his way to the farm to go in a suit. It depends. You would not expect a beekeeper to go to where he or she keeps the beehive in a short sneaker. I can tell you the whole body will be stung before he or she returns back. So it depends on the kind of business or your profession that will dictate your kind of dressing. So it depends. Thank you.
All right. Now, in this instance, where does decency comes in?
Decency. Decency. Thank you. Did I mention that? Okay. Decency. Did I mention that earlier? That is the most important part of dressing. You have to be decent. In recent times, some of our 400 level students here in Nigeria graduated in about a month or 2 months ago. And I was shocked. I was speechless when I saw our ladies on a crop top on their graduation day. I am not talking about UK. I'm not talking about Canada. I'm not talking about US. I'm not talking about Dublin. Yeah. I am talking about where I am. I am in Nigeria, precisely in Ijebu. But no. A crop top on your graduation day. I mean, it was just the upper part that was covered. Below the upper part down was exposed on your graduation day. And on this day, most of these girls, their mates would have to sign on them. Do you get what I'm saying? Recently, my daughter was chosen among the coveted ladies for a wedding. And when she came on billing me, she gave me a high bill. And I was like, fine, I will take it. But can I have a look at the dress I'm paying for? And when she finally showed me, I nodded. Meaning, I agreed to it. Then my daughter busted into laughter and said, Mom, I changed the dress 10 times. 10 good times before we agreed on this. And I was like, why? She said it was a long gown that had this littered up to the thigh. The first one. Other ones had their bodies exposed. Other ones had their cleavages exposed. But because there is a fashion statement in my house, you should have a decent fashion statement. There is a fashion statement that I have, even for my guys. You don't sag in my house. You don't put on a trousers without a belt. You don't. Then for my girl, even if you're putting on a short skirt, decency, at least it must be up to your knee length, so that when you are seated, the part of your thighs is not exposed for attraction. Do you get me? Fine, you have your legs, but the upper part of your thighs will not be an attraction to distract others. It depends on where you are. It's going to end up being a distraction to any other person. You should not dress. You should not be dressed to distract people. Your dress code should not be to distract others. Decency. A lot of ladies here put on things, and even as a lady, I will question the dressing. It will be like, God, what is she putting on? The cleavages would almost be popping out. Sometimes you shouldn't. Just dressing shouldn't be about yourself alone. One, comfortability, convenience. Thank you for adding this. Decency should be considered in the way you dress. Thank you.